we'll move on to the next speaker. Again, Dominic McFadden, PCS National Executive, and my pleasure to that he's going to speak at this rally. Thank you, Dominic.
Thank you very much for that. You wait ages for a Dominic and two will come up at once, as you say. And the PCS represents 300,000 civil servants and people in the public sector right across the UK. And we've got a simple policy on the cuts. We say there should be no cuts. No cuts in our jobs, no cuts in our pension, no cuts in our pay, and most importantly, no cuts in our services. These attacks not just on public sector unions, but on the whole of the working class, as they try and make us pay for their crisis. Because cuts are not the cure. In fact, cuts are neither necessary nor inevitable. In fact, not only are cuts not the cure, but actually the problem. And you don't have to look far to see what they cause. Just look across the Irish Sea to Ireland, where what happened there was they had the crash in 2008, and they cut all public sector pay by 6.5%. Having accepted those cuts, they then came back again, took another 7.5%, and they came back again. So 15% cut off public sector pay. Jobs went, demand went, and the economy went worse. Instead of saving on the deficit got worse in the Republic of Ireland. And the only thing that's stopping unemployment going up is, again, mass emigration. Same as my parents had to leave Ireland at the end of the 1940s to get work, and that's the same happened to a generation there. So actually cuts make things worse. And there is an alternative: tax justice. Our union's been campaigning for tax justice. We represent over 60,000 people working in HMRC. It used to be far more than that, because they've cut 30,000 since they created HMRC by merging the Inner Revenue and the former Customs. And we walk past some of those places that cause that. £120 billion in tax that is evaded, avoided, or simply not collected. And these aren't figures made up. These are figures from independent research. And as I said, we walk past some of them. Dorothy Perkins we walk past, run by Sir Philip Green. We'll come back to him in a minute. And we walk past a shop there, Vodafone, £6 billion. Let's just think of that £6 billion. £6 billion, 6,000 million pounds. That is the money that Vodafone, by a tax avoidance scam, didn't pay. £6 billion is also what they did in the first emergency budget when the government came in and they robbed every baby in the country. That's what they first started on, babies, on the baby bonds and children in the country. And £6 billion, the bonuses that bankers are getting. So that's a fairly substantial money there. The other part we're arguing about is a financial transactions tax, a Robin Hood tax, as Dominic was saying before, supported by most of the countries in Europe, including those famous socialists like Sarkozy and Angela Merkel, and opposed by the UK government. And it's not really surprising, because the financial services sector contributed over half of the Conservative Party funding in the last year. And they're defending their friends in the banks. That money, a tiny percentage, 5p in every £1,000 would raise 20 billion. And just giving what 20 billion means, for example, the VAT rise would raise 30 billion. So just a tiny of 5p in every £1,000 would raise 20 billion pounds, opposed to the British government and their friends in the banks, because they've got some front in the banks. So I'll just talk about three of them. Ruth Lee, of the Institute of Directors, or the Tax Dodgers Alliance, yeah? She's the woman who says, we've had the party, now we've got the hangover. And just think about that for a second. Someone has a party, they don't even invite us to it. Yeah? We're not at the party, but they're saying we can have their hangover. Well, that's some front, isn't it? Sir Philip Green, he owns the Arcadia Group. Oh, apparently he doesn't own it. His wife Tina owns it, and she's based in Monaco. So he avoids £250 million in taxes by that tax dodge. This is a bloke who spent £5 million on his 50th birthday party. You wouldn't want his hangover, would you? And this is the bloke the government bring in to advise on public sector efficiency. Yeah? You couldn't make this stuff up. This is the bloke they brought in. You've never heard his report because it was rubbish. He came out with nothing. And this not really surprising he spent £5 million on a birthday party. Or Bob Diamond, yeah? Who runs Barclays. This is the man who on the 11th of January told the public council in the House of Commons that in his view, for the banks, the period of remorse and apology should end. Well, I agree, I don't really care. I don't really want their remorse. We don't want their remorse, we don't want their apologies, we want their money. In fact, it's not trillion of our money to prop up the banks so they can pay themselves bankers' bonuses and say that we should pay, they can attack the workers, they can attack our class. They're the ones who are to blame for this, and not the working class of this country. We say that there is an alternative, it is there now, and people should do it. That's why, again, I'll endorse, turn up on the 5th of March in Cardiff, in Sophia Gardens, for that demonstration. The Tories and Liberal Democrats got the cheek to come to Cardiff to their conferences. Turn up, and especially on the 26th of March in London, demanding jobs, growth and justice. Thank you.
Thanks, Dominic. I think that paints a real picture for us about the alternative budget and all the media coverage that everybody is receiving to say there is no other way. That is a fallacy. There is another way. It's just people don't want you to believe.